Greetings, this is Charles Darwin, and I'm going to tell you today how a corn plant can eat a bean plant. Now, I wish I could show this to you, but I'm not able to do it because after having retired, I no longer have laboratory equipment. But even when I did have laboratory equipment, I could not get this demonstration to work. I'll explain that at the end. The best I could do is, here's a can of beans, here's a can of corn. Now, all plants have the ability to remove carbon dioxide from the air and make it into sugar, which is their basic food. And there are two different categories of plants. Actually, there's more than two, but the two that we're going to look at today are C3 plants and C4 plants. Now, I can't go into the details about why they are called that, but the beans are an example of a C3 plant, and corn is an example of a C4 plant. I did an earlier video about this called, let's see, C4 plants don't have it made in the shade. And so you can go and learn something more about C3 and C4 plants from that earlier video. Now, C3 plants, like beans, they have an enzyme that removes carbon dioxide from the air to make it into sugar eventually. However, this enzyme is not able to remove all of the carbon dioxide. There's a certain amount of carbon dioxide that remains unused in the air, because these plants are not able to use that carbon dioxide. And whereas C4 plants, like corn, they have a different enzyme that actually absorbs the carbon dioxide from the air, and this enzyme is able to use almost all of the carbon dioxide in the air. So let's consider C3 plants and C4 plants, such as corn and beans, growing together in a sealed terrarium where air cannot get in or out. And so what would happen? They grow together, and while they're growing together, they're both removing and using the carbon dioxide from the air. But when it reaches that point at which the bean plant is no longer able to remove carbon dioxide from the air, then it stops and it dies and it starts to decompose, and then it puts carbon dioxide into the air as it decomposes. Meanwhile, the corn plant is able to continue removing carbon dioxide from the air, including the carbon dioxide that came from the bean plant. And so if you think of carbon dioxide removal as eating, the corn plant is eating the bean plant. And so I thought that was an interesting concept. But now there are problems with setting up the demonstration, and the main problems had to do with fungus growing in the very humid conditions. Also, because soil and the bacteria in the soil produce carbon dioxide, I had to use artificial potting medium, but the artificial potting medium was not able to prevent the growth of fungi. So what happened is, when I tried to do this demonstration, I just ended up with a bunch of plants dead from fungus. Well, so I was not able to do it even when I tried using an autoclave and everything. If any of you out there can figure out how to get around the fungus problem and do this demonstration of the C4 plant eating the C3 plant, you're welcome to use the idea. Good luck to you. This is Charles Darwin telling you.